everyone. Let's make an easy coffee cake today. I'm giving a shout out to Chef Vic Cuisine. This is inspired by him. Let's try out his recipe. First, let's take a moment to look at the yummy filling. Doesn't that look yummy? Okay, for the first step is the cinnamon filling, which is 3/4 a cup of light brown sugar, 1/4 a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and then we mix it all together and we put the bowl aside for now. Now here's the second step. It's streusel time. We're going to mix the streusel ingredients together here, which is 2/3 cup of light brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and 1/2 cup of unsalted butter. And you know me, I got to have my pecans in there. So I put 2/3 of a cup of finely chopped pecans, as you can see in that cup over there, that gold cup. So we're going to incorporate this all together. I'm wearing gloves because this is, we have to get it all mushed together, the butter, with incorporate it all with the streusel filling. So my butter was at cold temperature, but you can use room temperature butter if you wanted to in this. But we're just going to incorporate it all together and squeeze the butter into the mixture so it all incorporate all together. Now, when you squeeze the butter in there, that can be meditating. So much fun. Just squeeze the butter, incorporate. Be sure to wear gloves, though, because that can get messy. And by the way, his recipe called for a 9x9-inch pan. I didn't have one, so I used my 9x13-inch pan for this, and I buttered it with a 1/4 cup of butter. I melted it in the microwave and then spread it all over the pan, melted butter, before I added the batter and everything to it. But you'll see later on. See, I told you, the squeezing of the butter and incorporating it all with the streusel ingredients. Oh, that's so meditating. You know, just do that all day long. See, I was meditating so much with the streusel and was so excited about getting the butter in there, I forgot the salt. This is when I realized it and put the salt in there. But that's okay. I'll just meditate some more and squeeze the butter in there and squish it all together. Now it's time for the pecans. I did 2/3 cups of finely chopped pecans, as you can see right there. Yes, finely chopped pecans. And I also toasted them before I chopped them. So that gives them that extra oomph flavor for the pecan. Okay, after we get all the pecans incorporated in there, we're going to cover this and set it to the side. So we finished step 1 and step 2. We're fixing to go on to step 3, folks. Yes, that is the batter, the cake batter to this easy coffee cake. It's so yummy. Okay, in the third part, we're going to be sifting 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, the 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Now, I didn't have any cornstarch, so I had to substitute it. Now, cornstarch is a thickening agent, so what I did is substitute it for the instant pudding, cheesecake pudding, because that is a thickening agent also. As you can see right there, that's what I was doing there. So, 1/4 cup of that, and then 3/4 teaspoons of salt, 2½ teaspoons of baking powder. And so I sifted all that together, dry ingredients, and have that in a bowl. Stay tuned to the end because I will list some substitutions that you could use. So if you're out of something, you could substitute it for maybe what you have in your home. Now come for the mixing time. Let's get us a stand-up mixer with a paddle there and add our soft room temperature butter and our sugar and mix all that together till it's nice and creamy and fluffy. Now here I was putting the soft butter in there, and this butter stick right here was hard to get the peeling off of it, but I finally got it. That soft butter was wanting to stick to the wrapper. Have y'all ever had that problem before with butter where the soft butters won't stick to the wrapper? I know I have. And did you notice the bowl and the canister it was in? That was one of my DIY projects I've been working on. It was one of those items that somebody else didn't want, and I'm just refurbishing it. And look at it, it was black iron, and I painted it gold. So, yes, I can't wait to finish my other DIY projects. Now here we're just fixing to scrape down the bowls on the round sides to get all that goodness out from the sides, because we don't miss anything, and we make sure everything's incorporated well. Now here we want to start adding the rest of the ingredients in. Here's the sour cream, the 1 cup of sour cream. And I had to stop the mixer because I didn't want us to get my tools stuck in the mixer. And stay tuned to the end because I will put some substitutions down that you can have for the ingredients just in case you need some dietary needs. Like if you're diabetic, we can switch this to that and some other cool ideas. And like I said, be sure to check out Chef Vic Cuisine on his recipes. And if you have anything you want me to cook, just shoot me an email. And my email will be in the description box below. And I'll give you a shout out also. And yeah, if y'all cook any of these recipes I'm putting up, just be sure to let me know and how you like it and everything, because I love comments below. And I will do my best to respond to any of the comments y'all leave. Now here I'm using vanilla paste. You can use vanilla extract, either color, either the vanilla extract or the clear vanilla or the real vanilla bean. Right now I'm using the real vanilla paste. Now I'm adding the eggs one at a time. This one came out too fast, so 2 went in there at one, but it's okay. But it called for 3 eggs, so we add them one at a time so we get creamy and well incorporated there. Now let's scrape the side of the bowl down because we have to have all that goodness incorporated in there and stirred up. So let's scrape the sides down. And then we're fixing to add the dry ingredients a little at a time. But I got to stir it up a little bit more. You know me. Make sure it's stirred up after I scrape it down. Now let's add the dry ingredients that we mixed up from the cake mixture. We're adding a little bit at a time, and then we're going to mix it up. If we put it all at one time, then it would get too hard on the mixer and it would just not mix up really good. So we add a little bit at a time. That way, you just have to be patient, just a little bit at a time. And that way it'd be really good mixed up well. Doesn't that look yummy? Golden color cake mixture. We're going to have to scrape the bowls down again right here because we want all this goodness incorporated. So we're mixing it up again, and then we're going to give it a quick stir. Y'all know y'all need to really make this coffee cake. Really, you need to try all the coffee cakes to see which one you like the best. But I tell you what, I love making different variety of cakes and different variety of coffee cakes. And my husband, he couldn't stop eating this. I had to share the recipe and share some of the examples of this cake that I made just now of Chef Vic's Cuisine. I'm telling you, Vic Cuisine, it is really yummy. Yay, now it is time to put this together. Let's start assembling this. Okay, next with our buttered dish, I had to use a 9x13 because I didn't have a 9x9 pan, which is going to make your cake just a little bit thinner, but not much. He used a 9x9 pan, but he said to butter it. So what I did was I used a fourth a cup of butter, and that's what buttered the whole pan right there, as you can see. And then I start assembling. You pour half of the batter into the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to get our filling, and we're going to pour that, just sprinkle that all over the top of that layer. So that's going to be our second layer, is the filling. And I'm telling you, it is so good. You saw at the beginning of the picture, this filling. Oh, it looks so shiny and moist. So we're putting the filling right here now. Make sure you get it evenly all the way across. And then we're going to add the third step is to put the rest of the cake batter on top of this. Here I am trying to scrape down the bowl because I want every little bit of that cake batter into the pan. Because, I mean, even a tablespoon of cake batter, we got to have it. But the batter is thicker than a coffee cake batter is thicker than a regular cake batter. So just make sure you know that when you're trying to spread it across, but you don't want to stir it into the batter. You just want to spread it evenly across there, because if you stir it up, it's all going to be mixed together. You don't want that because we want it in layers. Okay, after you see me right there trying to get every little bite out of that for the batter to put on there, because like I said, you got to have all that goodness. Got to have all that goodness out of the bowl. Don't waste a single drop of it. Okay, the next step is the layer on top, the strudel layer. You know that thing we did first where we're putting all the strudel ingredients together? Now that's what we're fixing to add on top. So get that ready. It's a really easy recipe. It just goes by steps. And if you do it by steps, it'll be really simple for you to do. So here is the strudel topping. And this is the one that we have all that butter in it. And the one I put all the pecans in it. So yummy. So here we go. Spread that all over the top evenly. Now remember, all this time our oven's been preheating to 350 degrees, so we want to bake this at 350 degrees on the middle rack for about 55 minutes. Now that we got all the ingredients put together, all the layers, it's 4 layers, the batter, the filling, the batter, and then the strudel. Now, you might not have to cook it at 55 degrees if you use a 9 by 13 inch pan, but you could just use your own temperature for your oven, what you need. You can tell the difference. But here, a closer look. Yes, all that butter and pecans on top. And now after 55 minutes, look, it's so done. Now, look at the closer look. Look how moist that center is. Oh, look how moist shiny that is. And here it is when I cut a piece. It's so shiny, the filling is. Now, if you have this cold, you want to heat up in the microwave, and this would be good, so good with a glass of milk, hot tea, or even hot coffee. It would be good on top if you had some of that drizzled icing on top. But just a hint. Picture the bottom, the buttery crust on the bottom. I had to get a closer look at that filling. Look how shiny, moist, yummy that is. And this is the finely chopped pecans. I went ahead and chopped a big bag of it for me, but I roasted it in the oven first, and then I chopped it really, really small. And you see the side of the bag, see, even smaller. And that's what I put 2/3 cups of that in the strudel part of the ingredients. And it made it even thicker on top and nuttier tasting.